Hey guys, welcome to Neighborhood Picks. Where do we start? Today is the recap of UFC 272 Masvidal Covington, and man, that fight was something serious. It was the Colby Covington show, and he really showed out with a great performance. Let's get right to it. I want to call it always honest, not just who I like, this, that. You guys know I was leaning towards Masvidal. I like Masvidal. I don't dislike Covington, but my logic was after 20 years, the wrestling gap would close in, and then Masvidal had the dog, and he had him on the feet, and my logic was that he could beat him. So as the fight started to unfold, I noticed a few things. I noticed something that I thought about it a little bit, but I think it really took place during this fight, the age. Now, a lot of you guys, especially you guys in your primes, 18, 25, you don't understand what I'm saying. But 33, 34, and 37 sometimes can make a world of difference. I remember running around at 31, 34, feeling and thinking and believing that I was full top notch speed, whatever, like thinking, wow, I'm still exactly the same. Then I remember being 37, 38, felt like you're in a little quicksand. One of the best examples I can give you of note when a fighter gets old. When I was a kid, Sugar Ray Leonard was the best. He was the best. And Hector Camacho was a great fighter, champion. I'm talking about two Hall of Famers. Hector Camacho was younger. Later on, they made a big mega fight. Leonard had his bouts with the retina. He retired. He came back. He was getting older. He was an old 36. It wasn't like even 36 now. 36 then was like 44 now. So Leonard was an old 36, but he was coming back to fight Camacho because Camacho couldn't punch his way out of a wet paper bag, so they said. Great speed, tactician, fastest hands around, but Camacho was no out artist. They thought it would be a good fight for Sugar Ray. So Sugar Ray Leonard fights Hector Camacho. I remember it. I was a kid. And Hector Camacho knocked him out. Knocked him out. And when I even go back and say it, I even said it to my dad, and he was shocked. He's like, what are you talking about? Camacho could ever knock out Sugar Ray Leonard. He's right, but it happened. So what I'm saying is last night, before I even get into the brilliance of Covington's performance, I want to diagnose Masvidal. Then we're going to get into Covington. I feel like I watched a fighter get old. I saw him second to the punch, standing. When you're standing with a guy striking, and you're facing a guy that you boxed 8 million times, and you happen to teach how to throw hands. Colby came into ATT, American Top Team, as an elite D1 wrestler. He came in, he met the criteria for the program to try to turn young wrestlers into UFC fighters. Masvidal took him under his wing, but the striking has always belonged to Masvidal. Last night, when I saw Colby getting first, hitting George with 1-2-3 piece combos, lead uppercuts, or 1-2 hook bang, and George could smile and blow the kiss when he holds him, but he was exposed. When Covington was getting there first on the feet, I said, "Oh shit!" Now then, that's actually, I said it one, but that's number two. Number one was within a minute of the first round, I realized something that I had never voiced out loud. Something I never said before the fight should have told me clearly who was going to win. Okay, you ready? In this fight, Colby Covington can dictate where the fight goes and when it goes there. He can. His wrestling, his striking, his cardio, his overall toughness. George Masvidal cannot dictate where the fight goes. He's trying to keep him off the ground. He wants to keep it standing. So when I computed that all in my head, I'm like, oh, damn, that's 1/2 of the advantage away from Masvidal. Thinking about checks and the boxes, pluses and minuses, I should have known. I should have listened to the Richardson brothers. I should have listened to you guys. I should have listened to P. Riz. You almost had that submission. Now I know what you're saying. He almost submitted him about 100 times. I really like how Colby dictated whether the fight was going to be standing or on the ground. Now, 1 minute into round one, Colby gets Masvidal down, and he keeps him there for 3.5, 4 minutes. Right there. That's round one, Colby. When you can dictate the control of the fight like that, that's round one. Now, round two, I was trying to be a nice guy. I was trying to figure out a way the fight could be even, that some of the judges could get involved, something. In my heart of hearts today, I believe Colby won round two also. But I gave it to George last night to make it 1-1. See, it wasn't that far off. Now, I believe it was round three. Right away, either 3 or 4, one of the next rounds, 5-minute round. We're still in the fours. And here it comes again. Colby on George's back for 3 to 4 minutes. He was like a fucking leech. He was like a leech. He was all over George's back. George must have felt like he was in a fucking rodeo and he couldn't get the bull off him. Oh, Colby was nonstop, impressive, vicious. Just, you got to tip your hat to him and be proud of him. If you're a fan of sport, you got to be so proud of this kid, man. I mean, you can't. I don't hate on anybody. That's a good thing. I'm happy that I got that trait. Like, I might like somebody, and they might be my favorite, but I don't hate on the next guy. If I see something that I appreciate, that's exactly what I do. I appreciate it. Colby Covington, I appreciated the way he fought last night. He took every advantage, and he showed that he was legit. The only guy to ever get him was Usman. He went through Masvidal. Like, let's put it this way. Masvidal and Covington got the $50,000 bonus because of the fight of the night. Colby Covington, thanks to Colby Covington, they got that bonus. Because if you're just looking at Masvidal, he deserved to get fined $50,000. He was in the sand, stuck in the sand all night. He looked old. He looked slow to the punch. He was slow to the punch. He was second to the punches. He was losing on his feet. He was getting outstruck. I called it as I was seeing it. That looked like he was getting outstruck, but I didn't have the numbers in front of me, but I felt it. He did get outstruck. Everything that could have happened the right way happened. And then it was so unanimous. And then here you go, that third or fourth round, you were looking for some kind of hope, a ray of hope for Masvidal. And what happened? It was an absolute repeat of round one. He got a hold of him, got on his back, got him on the ground. This is Colby to Masvidal, and they spent 3 to 4 minutes on the ground. So right there, with George just trying to survive, like George spent a lot of time. Say this is a choke, this scarf. George spent a lot of time trying to keep that choke off, like a lot of time. Like most of the time in rounds 1 and 3 or 1 and 4, whichever it was, for 10 minutes basically, Colby had his back, dominating, and George is trying to not get choked. So right there, that's 40% of the fight. No matter how biased, no matter what kind of lenses you got on, if you hate Covington, 2/5 of the fight is already his. 2 out of the 5 rounds. Now you just give him one more, which was obviously the last, easy. He wins. One judge made it 5-0. I can understand that. Another judge had it 4-1. Then another judge had it 3-2. I saw it 3-2 or 4-1. So, but here's the thing. UFC's tricky. Remember just about 2 short years ago how Dana White, now listen, Dana White's got to make this cash cow keep going. How do you do that? You make the most interesting fights. They just signed Masvidal to a mega fight deal, paying him more than he's ever been paid before, and he looks like shit. Why did they do that? Conor fucking McGregor! 2 years, Masvidal still got the name, right? Nate Diaz is half fucking brain dead. They're lining all these guys up. So Conor fucking McGregor makes his fucking bullshit comeback, and everybody thinks he's good because he beat 3 guys with half of a churn of a brain. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking. Why would they sign Masvidal to a long deal? Why? Because, well, 2 years ago, Masvidal had just ripped Nate Diaz who McGregor had just beat. That's number one. And Masvidal, Dana White said himself, "Oh, he's too strong. He's too strong for Conor. I'll never let them fight." Well, if you look at Conor, he looks like a fucking ape. He's huge. He looks like the tattoo of the ape thing that he's got. I think he's like he wants it. Like he always says, "I'm a fucking gorilla." He like that. He wants to be big. Conor McGregor is about 190, 195 right now. He's not. You can tell by everything he's doing. He's not fucking around with 145. Definitely not. Doesn't look like he wants anything to do 155. The money for McGregor, imagine if McGregor pops into 170 fights. Now you can literally stretch out another career of 3 or 4 fights where now at lightweight you'd be done. You get smoked once or twice more, you're done. Imagine McGregor fights Masvidal, Nate at 170. I just named 2 guys that you would watch them fight each other 5 times each. So you could do that. You got a lot of options for Conor at the 170. Now with George looking now you know the fight game, it's more than just brawn. It's mental. If I'm Conor McGregor, I'm gonna leave you with this. And now guys, this channel is made to be interactive. There's nothing more that I love than to have you guys listen, think whatever you want to think, and hit me back on the comments, and then be like, Nooch, what do you think about this? Do a video about this. Boom, I'll do it. Like, I'm about the pleasure and enjoyment of this shit. So what I'm thinking is, 2 years ago, it was a no-wayer. But now, let's say you're Conor McGregor and you're Dana White. Masvidal's 37 going on 38 in the fall. He looks older. He looks like he can be had more. He looks like something's missing. McGregor's only fucking 33. 33. Big fucking difference. McGregor's weighing 195. If McGregor cuts down to 170, he should be all muscle and lean and ready to rock and fucking roll. So I can see Masvidal McGregor nowadays. I can see Diaz McGregor now 170. Maybe he'll whoop Cowboy's ass one more time. Everybody likes to put Cowboy up there. You know, what happened to Leon Rocky Edwards? There's a lot of guys on 170 that Conor can whip their ass, I think. So I believe Conor's shooting for 170. Keep that career alive. Maybe even Dustin goes up there. But the possibilities are endless. But last night just goes to show you, you never know. The last guy that I saw step into a ring at 38, 40, and fight the best upcoming 22-year-old and handle him, I gotta tip my imaginary hat. He might be the greatest boxer we've ever seen in our life, and I didn't appreciate him then as much as I do now. Floyd Mayweather Jr. He handled Canelo in front of my eyes every round, and he was 38. Canelo was 22, and I don't think Canelo has been touched since. So you never know. But I did see a fighter get old last night, and it was a shame because it was one of my guys. So I'm very interested with the new contract to see if we got one more resurrection in George, and I'm also very excited to see the growth and progress of Colby Covington, because his career is not going to go forever either. But I'm super excited to see where it does go. So like, subscribe. You know where to find me. And I had a blast with you guys doing the fights. Thank you so much for all your support. Let's keep it going. And anything you guys want to know, I'm always here.